Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Just want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. The bonus to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone, real well. Peace, salutations to the elect. This is Brother Barak coming into the quick lesson. I pray is edifying and exhorting. Right, and this lesson here is going to be entitled Spiritual Efficiency. Right, and what, put the spirit on me to do this lesson is we hear about, I'm trying to figure out how they wording it, with Trump government efficiency. Pretty much that's what they've been speaking about, making the government run more efficient. And with that, they've been doing mass layoffs, right? And then, so we know that been going on in the news. And I was listening to one of the Elder Apostle Charles videos. I forgot exactly which one, but he was just going into the word. He didn't pull it up or anything, but he was just going to, government efficiency. Then he said, pretty much cutting things off, to make yourself better. And that's what we pretty much see, on the right hand and the left hand. The left hand, with Esau Edom and his minions, pretty much he's trimming the fat, what he calls useless eaters. And that's ultimately, a push to the NWO, because even these people that's been working within the government, they're not in that circle, so to say. That's why they always say, what, it's a small club and you ain't in it. So a lot of these people that thought themselves to be in good case, they're finding out that, hey, Esau Edom, the elites is doing away with their ass. They're no longer needed. So he's trimming the fat. And we also know in the spirit, what, in a few weeks, we're going to be coming up on the Passover, right? And the Lord always does a house cleaning, man. Okay? So we want to make sure that we doing that for ourselves within the spirit, right? So like I said, this lesson is going to be entitled Spiritual Efficiency. Not a long lesson, but let's go ahead and get into it. So like you for the long intro. But pulled up this word efficient here in Edom Online. Adjective, it says making, producing, immediate effect, active, effective, right? Effective, efficient, okay, meaning productive, skill. So we want to make sure that we're productive, in this truth, right? Making sure that we're producing, not just producing lessons, but that we're actually growing in this truth. And that comes with what? That comes with a lot of discipline, right? To be more efficient, things has to be cut off and trimmed. Let's see what else we can get. Let's see, definition of efficient, especially of a system or machine, achieving maximum productivity with minimum wasted effort or expense. So that's what I wanted right there. Producing or achieving maximum productivity. So making sure we're on fire, making sure we're fellowshipping, paying our tithes, doing our lessons, feeding the sheep, and ultimately walking in the spirit, constantly in the spirit, right? With minimum wasted effort, So we don't want to, like the scripture say, for the days are evil, so we redeem the times, but we don't want to, pretty much be scrambling, in this last time, trying to overly exert ourselves, but we not really getting nothing done because we too caught up in other things. So we have to use our time wisely. Let's pull that up. Matter of fact, I keep quoting it, but I can't give it justice how I want to. Ephesians, the 5th chapter. Ephesians 5:15. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. And that's a beautiful scripture going into what? Being efficient. Not being a fool out here. It's another precept that say when I was a child, I did childish things, right? But now that we're growing, we're putting off those childish things, That's us walking wisely. Okay, being on point. It says what? Redeeming the time because the days are evil. You see, so we have to use our time very wisely, right? So that goes back to this definition where it says achieving maximum productivity with minimum wasted effort or expense. Another thing, with minimum wasted time. Okay. You see, so we have to use our time wisely. We have to be more spiritually efficient. Like I said, I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. Going down to under this, another adjective for it. It says well organized. Okay. Competent, capable. Right. So we have to be more organized in this truth. Right. So let me see if there's anything else not needed for that. No, that was efficient. Let's see. That was efficient. That's what they got for efficiency. Power to accomplish something. Efficient power. Okay, yep. It's pretty much the same thing, but they break it down a little different. It says ratio of useful work done to energy expended. right? And that's how we know what the Lord, the Lord is about to start, clipping a lot of guys out, that's sifting, because the useful work, people out here BSing, man. So we got to make sure that we walk as wise, not as fools, because what we know the days are evil. You see, hey, the Lord ain't finna, of course you part of the elect, you good. Every man in his portion, but I like to be hard on myself. We have to really examine ourselves to see, is it more that we could be doing? Or are we giving too much energy to other things, such as work, family, woman, worry about your cars, you're trying to make an extra dollar. Yeah, we got to survive in this world, but our main, our efficiency we have to make sure we're very, very efficient in this truth. Okay, so let's get to the precepts that I want to get. Matthew 5 and 29. This Yahweh Shai speaking. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So Yahweh Shai literally saying, pull out his right eye. Pull out your right eye. No, he's just saying, hey, man, be disciplined, man. Put off that that fleshly nature, Because, you read the verse up, he was speaking about looking after a woman and you lusting after her, right? That being a married woman, because, men, we desire women. But even in this time, what Apostle Paul said, matter of fact, let's get that. That's another good one to get. 1 Corinthians 7. I think it's a part where he spoke about the time, how much time, like it's not a lot of time. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 7, and let me see. Okay, 1 Corinthians 7 and 26, it says, I suppose, therefore, that it is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for a man so to be. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. Say, if you ain't got a woman, you ain't got to worry about, seeking her. Verse 28, but if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned. Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. But this I say, brethren, this is what I want, verse 29. But this I say, brethren, that time is short, it remaineth, that both they that have wives be as though they had none. You see what? The time is short. We in some evil times. This is a time where we have to be very, very efficient, man. On point, walking wisely, man. You see? Because what? Then you'll end up putting too much energy into these women, into these things of the world. And then what? The Lord will spew you out his mouth, because now you're no longer hot. The Lord want us producing, right? Well, and it say to be efficient, like the Apostle Paul said, man, you got enough time to do a 10-minute video. You whatever you're doing, you working or you driving, you listening to videos. I ain't saying do lessons while you driving, but like I'm just saying, like as you building up, you gathering information, you watching your news, listen to your news, you watching brothers going to their videos. So, now once you do get time to make it to whatever you got to do, hey, you get settled in, you do your lesson, okay, you get your workout on, you make your food. That's being efficient, man. That's what it really goes to, using our time wisely, Let's see what else we got. And yeah, it was another one I wanted on this in this chapter 2. That was the point I wanted. The time is short, but it's another part that speak about pretty much how these things of this world can, have you stumble. Let me see. Is it this chapter or the 13th chapter? Oh yeah, verse 35. 1 Corinthians 7 and 35. And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. You see? Because if you distracted, now you're no longer efficient. You don't have the time. You ain't putting your energy and your resources in the right spot. You know, and that goes from the truth rolling over to the things of the world, you know, just being more prepared. Like, you know, like they say, do something today that you will be that your tomorrow self will be proud of, you know. You know, Jake always talking about, hey, I'm just go get gas in the morning. Then you mess around and wake up late and there's traffic and now you late when you could have just you had enough time to get gas last night. You know, that's just a a small example. But let's get back here in Matthew 5 and where we at now? Matthew 5 and 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Right? Yep. So that's pretty much, cutting off these different things that may hold us back and, distract us and, take away from us giving our, take away from us being efficient in this truth. And I believe it's also written in Matthew the 18th chapter. Something similar to that same effect. It says stumbling blocks. Matthew 18:8. Wherefore thy hand or thy foot offend thee, cut them off and cast them from thee. It is better for thee to enter into life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into everlasting life. And if thine eye offend thee, and be cast into everlasting fire. And if thine eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. It is better for thee to enter into life with 1 eye, rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into hell fire. You see? So this is all about, being efficient, being disciplined, being focused. In order to be efficient, hey, you got to be focused. You got to be putting that right amount of energy into the right thing and not having to do things over and over and over. That's why the scripture says it's better to obey than to sacrifice. Because what? You disobey the Lord, then you end up in a situation. Now you got to try to get out of that situation. That's not efficient, because now that same energy we could have used just to obey the Lord and to stay locked in, now we got to use extra energy just to try to get ourselves out of a situation that could have been avoided altogether, man. So that's the whole point of this lesson, I just want to exhort Akim to be more spiritually efficient, and also into our worldly affairs, man. Be more efficient, get in, get out. You go into the store, try to make a list before you go so you already know, what you're going for. Just not out here freestyling, man. Right? Time is short, so we got to be on point. So that was just a quick lesson, something I had on my spirit. I pray you've been edified and exhorted. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders here at Great Millstone Rule Well. Peace and salutation to the elect. Shalom.